To you by AKLC Studios, Arnold Furniture, Buffalo Bills Roadhouse, Fazio's Italian Deli, Highland Tire, Myrna's Brewery Outlet, Lower Burl Attorney Gino F. Peluso, the Resevich Funeral Homes, 380 Discount Warehouse, and Westmoreland Insurance Services. And it is so good to have you aboard for another edition of Sportsline Trivia. Welcome here to the AKLC Studios in Leechburg. And if you happen to be in the vicinity, we invite you to stop over. Although, what, are the doors closed now? Did I give a wrong invitation, Mike?
Well, if you knock on the door loud enough, we'll let you
Oh,
in.
no. So Billy's going to kill us.
We'll let you in.
Yeah. Anyway, all's well when the Steelers win on a weekend. But the first road victory of the year, am I
First
correct?
one, yeah.
Okay, first road win.
Of course, they've won 11 of their last 12 in Cincinnati. It's kind of like a home game.
Yeah. There were a decent amount of people from Pittsburgh.
Is
out
it not
there,
as many as usual? That it
but
was
they
really
still had some representation.
terrible
so.
fouls are flying, and you can hear the cheers when they did something. So that's always comforting to know.
You folks are invited to join us via the telephone at 724-236-0430. I rehearsed that number all week again.
I have it written down in so many places up here you people can't imagine.
But they're all angled
I
toward
have a
Mike.
piece
and
of
I can't-
tape right here. It's right there. I have it on
can't
the
see
inside
it.
of my book. I have it all over the place.
So we invite you to call, again, 724-236-0430. Be a part of the program with us. We'll give you an opportunity to win some prizes. And here are the eligibility guidelines for the program. You can win a prize every other week on the show per your household address. And the salami prize or the mystery profile can only be won once in a calendar month. We give you 15 seconds for multiple choice, 20 seconds for the grand salami, and the mystery profile goes clue by clue. And if you have not won over the last year, or if you are truly a first-time caller, you'll get an extra prize with a correct answer, and we always make sure you're taken care of. The answers to the trivia questions are on my website, doubledribblebob.com. And another reminder that every Saturday I do a radio show. It's called Sports World. I'm looking at you. Yeah. What's the show called? And it's all on sports history and sports nostalgia. Sports World, Saturdays, 10 o'clock on WAVL. And WAVL stands for Apollo, Vandergrift, and Leechburg.
I did not know that.
Really?
I did not know
It took me a while to figure it out,
Oh,
but I
okay.
did check, and that's what it was named many, many moons ago.
Can I ask the folks out there, if anybody's watching and wants to know playoff possibilities for their local high school football team,
You've got it all.
I had done painstaking research.
That's a lot of work.
And I have, of course, most of it's a guess, but how are you going to know if I'm telling the truth or not? No, it's here and it's good to go. And if anybody wants to know specifically about their team, and
You have the info.
I have the answer right here in front of me. So if anybody wants to do that, they can do. And we know Burrell will be at home. We know that much. Burrell has made it. They will be at home. So that's one we can throw out there. They'll have a home game in the first round. So.
But isn't it amazing for you people who are Valley football fans or perhaps neutral, that here's a team that went through 3 seasons plus. No. Is it 3?
At least.
Anyway,
I don't
a
even remember the
22-game losing
Right,
streak
which
would
is
be
two
almost
seasons-
3.
Which is two full seasons plus parts of another.
Right. And this year have already made the playoffs, and
Yes,
their
they
record is
have.
what, 6 and 2
6-2.
overall, but
Overall,
5
but-
and 2 in the section.
And looking good. I mean, it's good. We want everyone to be good. All the teams to play well. It's just better for things around here, and the more teams that are involved, that's a good thing, and that'll awaken some of the echoes down there at that beautiful stadium they have, and maybe they won't be at home, but I'm sure they'll take a goodly number wherever they get to go.
And if there's anybody out there, and I thought about this earlier this week because I heard another program discussing where have the rivalries gone. And if you've had in the past a favorite rivalry game, whether it's football or whatever, most of them are football, and it's now gone. You want to talk about, you know, the two schools that were involved and maybe some history highlights you'd like to bring up.
Like East Deer versus West Deer.
West Deer
for the Antlers.
For the Antlers, and your mom graduated.
My
from
mom's East Deer. I wonder where those Antlers are. Do you have any idea?
No. And they almost, I know they were destined for the garbage heap, but I think somebody rescued
Somebody
them.
saved them. Maybe they did, but that was always a biggie. And then Trentham Harbrack, right? They would play they play each other. Trentham and Harbrack. That was a.
It was well, no, they were different classifications. In other words,
Arnold Kent High.
Arnold Kent High.
Arnold Kent High.
Kent High, Harbrack.
Harbrack, big one.
There you
big
go.
one. So there were plenty. They're out there. Oakmont Verona.
Another one, and
Oakmont
they wind
Verona.
up merging.
They're together, exactly.
All right, folks, the line, I think I know we have at least one caller. We're going to take our first commercial break. We'll come back and we'll talk to the caller. We have a couple of people in the audience tonight who have already agreed to participate, so they're going to be part of the action. And we'll take the break, and Mike and I will return momentarily, so stay aboard. Since 1914, people in the local area have relied on the Resevich family in deepest time of need. The Resevich family is the oldest established name in the funeral profession in the AK Valley. Its reputation and unquestionable service speaks for itself. Now the proud tradition of service continues with a fourth generation. The Resevich family serves the AK Valley from two locations, 5th Avenue Arnold and Leechburg Road, Lower Burrell. Welcome to Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, the place for big appetites. Their great sandwich selection includes the Geronimo, piled on high with generous portions of meat and fixings. Their barbecue ribs are the best in town. Half rack or full rack, they don't come better. Buffalo Bill's wings are everybody's favorite. Uniquely oven-baked, not deep-fried, and yet so crispy. Your choice of 13 flavored seasonings. Grab a bucket for the big game. Eat in or take out, credit cards accepted. Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, Freeport Road, New Kensington, across from Faldarelli Square.
Husqvarna, taming the wild.
And if you're in the market for a pre-owned vehicle, check out Tower Auto Sales on Freeport Road in Blawnox. The best products, the best selection, best customer communication, and best of all, best service after the sale. Tower Auto Sales. The owner, Mike Fanto, says just buy it. Give Mike a call at 412-828-6202. Mike and I open the show tonight by mentioning, of course, all's well when the Steelers win. Let's see if Tony agrees. Tony, good evening, and welcome to the program.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, it seems like morning to me.
As far as Tony's concerned, it's still Saturday and it's still 9 o'clock.
I was up so late last night because after a Steeler game, I get so wound up I can't go to sleep.
I'm like that too.
Mike, I think you kind of agreed with me. When Cincinnati scored on that first drive, I kind of thought, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to watch this thing?
Yeah, things kind of turned around a little bit.
Now I know why Mine Cope called them the Bungles.
Yeah.
Well,
Nine starters on a defense was first-round draft choices. 9 starters on I don't know how many on the offense. I know they had some first round.
Well,
I mean, what is wrong with this ownership?
And the best player they had was Vontaze Burfict, who wasn't drafted at all. He was
Yeah.
all over the place. Now, he would have been a first-round pick. The only reason he wasn't is because he can't stay out of trouble.
I mean, don't you think that you need a new coach by now?
Well, the guy they have works cheap, Tony. I mean, the guy they have works cheap.
Well, okay.
And you know, look, all you have to do is if you want to know how the Bengals are run, just think about how the Pirates are run. They're the same.
Yeah, I agree with you, but are you trying to tell me after he gets quits or fired from the Bengals, he's coming to the Pirates? He works cheap?
Well, if Bob Nutting thinks that it would help, he probably would do that.
Probably would, huh? Yeah, no. Well, let me tell you something, boys and girls. The first thing these idiots down here in Pittsburgh better do is start looking over next year's draft for a quarterback, the same type as we have now, or better, if we can't get it better. Because the two backups, they'll take you nowhere. I mean, they can go in and win a game here and there, but if Ben goes down for good, we'll be in a hole for I don't know how long.
Right.
So I think they better start looking for somebody, one of these super stud quarterbacks that coming out, and move up in the draft. Forget about all those 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th round the choices, which never pan out for the Steelers, and bunch them up in a bundle and try to move up and get one of these good quarterbacks and start breaking them in.
Okay, now here's my question to you.
Okay.
Now you're willing to do this in the first round?
Yeah,
okay.
If I have to.
Okay, now there are other areas on your team then that don't need any help. That you're gonna,
believe me, we need a lot.
You're going to
Too
take
much.
a first-round pick. You're going to take a first-round pick and spend it on a backup. When you need starters in other areas, you need defensive backfield help. You need linebacker help. You need defensive line help.
Right. No, I agree there. I'm just saying they have to start looking. I said starting next year.
Okay. Oh, I don't completely disagree.
Because these good ones are not going to be around in the 2nd and 3rd and 4th round. Those days are over. The Steelers think they're going to hit lightning in a box like they did, with let me see, L.C. Greenwood, at the 11th round, and Mike Wagner in the 12th to 13th. Forget those. Those days are over. You know what I mean? All these other teams, wised up to what the Steelers were doing back in them days.
Let me drop a quick note in. Pat Brady, there were, I'm trying to remember now.
Wasn't he on with Roy Rogers?
No. Roy Rogers.
I'm trying to remember how many
He
players.
He drove the Jeep. That's what I thought.
How many players were ahead of Brady in the overall draft?
Tom Brady, you mean?
Tom Brady.
Yes.
What did I say?
He said Pat Brady. We were
Pat
talking,
Brady, you're
we were
right.
talking to
That's
Roy
his name.
Rogers.
All
Tom
right.
Brady was a 6th-round pick.
Oh, you're talking about New England's quarterback?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant the Steelers punter.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too.
Steelers had a punter.
They had a punter named Pat Brady back in the day, yeah.
And Pat Brady, the one that was in the movies, drove a tank for
He
Pat.
drove the Jeep.
Huh? I don't know. In the wars.
Oh, okay.
WW2. He was a tanker for Patton.
Oh, I did not know that.
He said
See that?
Patton.
Something you learned today.
Patton.
General George
Okay.
C. Scott,
General
as our
Pat,
used
yep.
to say, yes.
Well, anyway.
Anyhow.
Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick.
Look, I know they need so much help.
Tony, I don't disagree with you that they need to get a backup, but
I mean, what happens if Ben gets, goes down for good?
well, what happens if anybody's really top-flight quarterback goes down? I mean, with the salary cap, the problem is that you're not going to be able to allocate the resources necessary to do that. You're not going to be able to take away from another position and pay what a first-round quarterback is going to command. It just isn't going to happen. I mean, you know how it works? It works like it did in Indianapolis. When the guy that's there is ready to go, he goes, and then you take the guy.
Well, this year, last year's draft, a lot of teams switched their first-round draft choices and moved up.
Well, sure they did.
Well, I mean, what's wrong with that?
Well, and another thing, too, is that you don't groom quarterbacks anymore. You draft them and they play. I mean, there's no such thing as grooming a quarterback anymore. That doesn't happen. There are 5 rookie quarterbacks starting in the NFL from day one.
I mean, that was 100 years ago when, you have to sit in the bench for 5 years.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. But, he has to be a decent quarterback.
Right. Oh, I understand that, and I understand that, and I agree with you about our backups. 100% I do. Like you said, those guys are basically there to come in to finish out a game. That's what they're going to do.
Right. I mean, that's all they can do. But if they have to put them in a starting role, what happens then? Game after game after game until when? And then, okay, let's say this year. Let's say next game Ben goes down, he's done for the year.
Right.
Okay, now you got these 2 Skamortzas going to go in there.
No, your season's pretty much
over.
over, yeah.
And finish the year out. Then
And
what
so-
happens at the beginning of next year? Say, well, Ben's done.
And what if Tom Brady goes down?
Well, I guarantee he has a decent backup.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
He doesn't have.
They don't even have anybody as good as we do.
and the Moses, his
Brian
backups.
Hoyer's their backup. He's
Huh?
horrible. They
didn't hear
have
you.
no backup. Because here's the thing, and the other thing you have to understand, and the reason why Indianapolis never had a backup, you don't bring in anyone that's going to even be perceived as a threat. Because then the number one guy is not going to like that very much.
Well, I understand that. And I don't think very many guys can run his system anyhow.
No.
You know, as
no,
far
no,
as,
no. You're right about that.
Yeah, so that's another point. Oh well, that's just what I was thinking about. That I think sooner or later they got to start thinking serious about a younger guy,
I agree with you
somebody
100%. And you know when the last regime was here, when Tom Donahoe ran the team, he drafted a quarterback, and he told us this on the show when he would be guest on our show. He drafted a quarterback every year. That his philosophy was, I'm going to draft somebody every year.
Yeah, whether it's down, down,
Right,
down,
exactly.
down. I understand that.
And then, then you have somebody to build on. Maybe somebody will take the reins and be the guy. And that's how we ended up with Cordell. I mean, I really don't think that when they drafted him, he thought he was going to be a starter. And say what you will about the guy, we got about 5 decent years out of him. I mean, he wasn't a complete
And
disaster.
somewhere along the way,
No, he wasn't.
somewhere along the way, he and Coward didn't see eye to eye, and it was all over.
Well,
So,
you know what? Here's the best part. The Coward benches him. Put him in a wide receiver. He catches one of the longest touchdown passes in Pittsburgh Steeler history.
That's right.
Wouldn't that say, hey, you might be an all-pro wide receiver? And I've been saying that for years. And, he's on that show before the games, Cordell, on one of those stations. And they were talking, and the guy sitting next to him says, hey, Cordell, I think you could have been an all-pro wide receiver. I said, holy mackerel, I've been saying that for years. And Cordell said, oh, no, I want to be a quarterback. I go, I want to be a
Exactly.
quarterback.
Well, a lot of it's attitude, too. And it's the same thing they said about Tebow yesterday. Rex says, we might put him in a running back. It's like, well, he'll do it, but he doesn't. He wants to be the quarterback. That's the whole point.
and by the way, as far as Stewart goes, was it Colorado or Colorado State?
Colorado.
Colorado.
And,
Okay.
and like, how many ever years of Steeler football was ruined just because he threw one Hail Mary touchdown pass?
Yep, one Hail Mary touchdown.
In Michigan, and it basically,
Yep. Yep.
pretty
Well,
much
I
missed
wish
us
he'd have
up.
took the receiver.
Westbrook, yeah, he went to the Redskins.
Yeah.
He was good.
Yeah, he was darn
He
good.
was a headache, but he was good. A lot of those
Yep.
guys are headaches, obviously.
Hey, you're going to today. It's big headaches.
And that was like 10 years ago, and it's worse.
About these playoffs, I know Valley made it, and Burrow made it.
Right.
Springdale didn't make it, right?
Springdale is winning in, and they're in good shape. Springdale plays Riverview this Friday night. If they win, they go. And I think there are probably scenarios where they'll go even if they don't.
And Highland did make it.
Highlands, if they win this week, will.
Oh, they will?
Yes. No worse than a wild card. And that's why I haven't seen it printed anywhere, and I'm the only one that's going to say it at this point, but I'm pretty sure.
As far as the big rivalries, Arnold Trentham, Arnold Springdale, and Arnold Leechburg, they used to really go at it,
Well, and you would know, you were there.
Arnold
Oh, yeah.
Lions, right?
Yep. So, yeah, a little bit with Kenai, but they didn't play him.
Arnold, they had a colorful field announcer, I understand.
Yeah, you know what? I think I used to know that guy.
I remember that guy. He was kind
Yeah,
of
he was a terrific announcer.
He was.
All right, Tony, let's try to win you a prize. Or
All
a group,
right.
or a group of.
Is this football again?
It's up to you. Let's see, we have,
Every week I've been in
one,
football. I'm so
two,
brainwashed with baseball.
3.
I'm so brainwashed with baseball.
We have 3 football, a baseball, and a basketball.
How about that?
Oh my God, man. Well, I'm
They're
going to
all
have to
mixed
hit.
up.
I'll probably hit football or basketball. All
Take-
right, let me
take a
have
shot.
number 4.
Okay.
Did I hit the basketball?
You might know this one.
Did I hit the basketball?
No.
Oh, good. Okay.
Russian weightlifters.
Okay. Oh, I told you I used to date one. Remember?
Yeah. Here's your question. What major leaguer played for the most field managers in one season?
Ricky Henderson?
No.
No.
No. You're not going to believe this. He played for the Pirates. Now, there's no bonus prize, but as long as you're this far down the street, take us the rest of the way. Who do you think? Played for the Pirates.
But I'm going to guess, just by looking at his name, this didn't happen while he was in Pittsburgh.
No.
Oh.
Let me give you the
friend.
team, the Texas Rangers.
Oh, you mean,
Well,
yeah.
Well, that was one
It
of
was
the
our
teams.
shortstop,
Would you believe it was Doc Ellis?
Doc Ellis.
Doc Ellis. I'm trying to remember now. I think he played for 7 managers in one year.
Holy smokes. Well, he probably had to be on the Yankees, too, that
The
year.
Yankees had 2. Texas had 3, that was 5.
And then there was another team
I
involved.
think either, I'd
where
hate
you
to
know.
guess. I'm going to look.
We'll look it up. But
Doc
he,
Ellis.
Doc Ellis. Well, he could make managers leave. I'm sure he could, at least make them pull their hair out, if nothing else.
Well, I remember Ricky Henderson. I think he played for 4. Maybe
He played for, well, and he was like Kingman, too. They played for a bunch of teams. Kingman, I think, one year played in all 4 divisions.
Yeah.
did.
Oh.
He did.
Well, when there were 4 divisions,
He was
played
the
in all of
first
them.
one to set the record.
Yeah, I
of
think he had a
doing
home
such.
run in every division, and,
All right,
And they all-
Tony.
and they all played
right,
for Billy
guys,
Martin.
you have a great week, and
Thanks, Stone.
we'll
Go
see you
Irish.
next week. And
Big-
I'll probably
big one-
have got to go for multiple choice. I'm getting bad. I got to get back into the swing.
Hey, big one for the Irish this week, huh? Going out to Norman.
Let me go out to Norman.
Going out to Norman.
Yeah, I should have, but
Should be fun.
you know what? They better not Mutt and Jeff their offense this week, or they'll get plowed under.
Their defense is championship caliber. There's
Oh
no doubt about
yeah,
it.
their defense. But you know what? You can only stay out in the field so long.
You're right.
If the offense goes 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, before long it gets old and goodbye defense.
Isn't it funny how the offensive guru is struggling to score points, but his defense is really good? It's weird how that happens.
Yep.
Tony, good night. Thanks
All
for
right,
the
guys.
call.
Thanks, Tom.
Okay, break time, and then we're going to grab somebody from the audience, and whoever that might be, we're going to ask for a volunteer. So we'll do the break, and we're coming right back. We're writing a new chapter with our local sports talk show, Sportsline. Every Monday evening at 6 o'clock, we will be seen worldwide on internet streaming. Go to doubledribblebob.com and get it started. The program will be taped and will air on Comcast Cable Channel 190 Thursday evening at 8:30. We'll even have a live studio audience on a first-come, first-served basis. Go to Double Dribble Bob for directions to the studio. Studio audience is reminded the doors will open at 5:30, and you can still participate as you would if you were calling from home and still win a trivia prize. Now, we're depending on you to keep the program going, and even if you don't have a computer or the internet, you can still call and be a participant on the program. So keep the phone number handy, 724-236-0430. That's 724-236-0430. I'll be looking for you. Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Accidents happen. Are you prepared? You can be with a wide range of homeowners insurance options from Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557. My first book on sports is available not only through the internet, but at various local businesses in the AK Valley. It's Bob Tattern's Sports Minutes. Short sports stories, odd and unusual, fascinating and funny, only take about a minute to read. Go online to doubledribblebob.com, where links are provided for Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Word Association to get book information. Get your copy locally at Costello Printing in Tarentum, Blackburn's in Tarentum, Myrna's Brewery Outlet in New Kensington, or the Hot Dog Guys Lower Burrell.
Welcome to Myrna's, home of the largest beer selection in the area.
Myrna's specializes in domestic, foreign, and microbrews as well as wine coolers. Myrna's Brewery Outlet has the largest beer selection at the lowest prices. Myrna's carries a large selection of snacks as well as cigars and cigarettes at state minimum prices. Let our helpful, courteous employees load your car. Myrna's Brewery Outlet, open 7 days a week.
And of course, you have your Oktoberfest and pumpkin beers now available at Myrna's Brewery in New Kensington. We're back on the show. Keep in mind that you can call us at any time, 724-236-0430. We're going to go to the studio audience and welcome one of our visitors this evening. Hello, welcome.
Doing tonight.
Good evening.
We welcome you with open arms, sir.
Well, let's get it back to Steelers football.
Yes.
The running game. I was really impressed with Dwyer's performance. I think, when he's a bruising back, like the announcer said, they remind him of Jerome Bettis. When our other running backs get healthy, what do you think about possibly maybe Dwyer going into this behind Mendenhall as the second running back?
Instead of Redmond?
Yeah. I think he maybe should have earned it, with his performance last night.
Maybe he needs one more game to show his stuff.
What was it, a couple weeks ago? Didn't they take him out of the game because he fumbled or?
He fumbled in the Oakland game. They
Right.
took him out, and then he wasn't even dressed the next two.
Right.
And that's the thing about him is that I like him too. And before you guys came tonight, I was talking to Bob about it when we were here. And I think that he is, just as far as pure running back, I think he is the next best guy behind Mendenhall. But there's obviously something that we don't see because weight issues, and just not even being dressed for games when the other guys came back. And it kind of makes you wonder what goes on behind the scenes. Is there, are there attitude issues? Is it some sort of effort and practice that the things that we don't, we won't know about? But he had a big game. Was it last year against Tennessee?
Right.
But he doesn't play special teams, so I guess that hurts him, and that can be a problem. But boy, it's amazing the difference it makes when you do have a little bit of blocking up there. And I think that they blocked as well up front for the run as they've done all year.
I agree.
I liked what I saw out of Adams, except for the first play when he whiffed on Geno Atkins. But like I said, a lot of people whiff on Geno Atkins, so he missed him and nearly got Ben killed. But after that, I think he did well. So we'll have to see where they go. I think that probably, I heard Ed Bouchette on the radio this morning, and he said that he thinks that maybe they might tell Mendenhall, you might want to rest that one more week now. And that's what happens. When you get people that perform like that, you can afford to rest your injured guys more.
Well, there's no doubt about it. The Mendenhall is our number one back.
No question. He's the most talented.
Right, absolutely.
And that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But Redmond's been. You saw flashes from Redmond at the end of last year, but then he also fumbled.
Right.
And that's number one. You got to hold on to the ball. That's just so important, especially when you're not the starter.
And how about some of the other plays last night? I mean, we could have won this thing by 10, 14,
At least.
17 points. The one pass thrown to Batch that he dropped.
Right. Oh, that was.
It
What a
was
beautiful
in
play that
the
was. Wasn't that
wide
beautiful? Oh.
open, and he can't hold on to the ball.
It looked like he panicked. I mean, it just and then he
And
kind of
he
put up
couldn't
one.
have heard any footsteps. There was nobody around
within
him.
30 miles of him. And then, the closest defender was in Kentucky.
Well, how about Wallace too? He had what, 4 drops. No,
And
granted, 2 of them were one was
Isn't-
deflected, one
isn't
was
that-
behind him a little.
Isn't that starting to
Stickum
worry you?
is outlawed now.
Hey,
So.
they found Stickum in San Diego. Have you heard this?
No.
There is a controversy that last Monday night's game that San Diego went out to that big lead against Denver. And the Broncos came back with the great comeback by Peyton Manning in the second half. One of the officials, not the head referee, but one of the line judge officials, found a sticky substance that they were hiding on the sidelines that they were putting in for the San Diego players, and they found it. They made them bring it to the official, confiscated it, and they sent it to the league and for testing. And we may have ever since Lester Hayes, right? Fred Biletnikoff, right? But there may be a Stickum controversy in the NFL.
You'd stick out one hand and catch a 100-mile-an-hour
Right
throw
here.
football. Oh, yeah, catch it right here.
Stick right to his arm. But so
It's like Heath Miller. He's like Velcro.
I'll tell you, isn't he the MVP so far? I mean, this
Absolutely.
guy.
well, think about it. It's all about how you design your offense. They just never threw it to him. And now, imagine the career this guy could have had, the numbers he could have put up if Todd Haley would have been there the whole time. I don't care, what Ben thinks. Like I told Bob earlier, it's like when Ben buys a team, he can pick the coach.
Absolutely.
Okay, they're doing just fine, and maybe they're throwing it a little shorter or whatever. But he's taking less hits. It's obvious he is.
Mm-hmm.
They're putting up enough points. They're possessing the ball. Even they haven't been able to run it yet. Only really 2 games out of the 6 that they had a representative running game. They're possessing the ball, and so Ben should just pipe down about Todd Haley, and maybe they should go play golf together. It'll be fine.
Absolutely.
Trivia?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Is it me?
Name your poison. We've got the salami. No hints, no clues, just a question.
Mystery profile.
They're tough. Most of them are.
Multiple choice, yeah.
Multiple
You
choice.
have, I have multiple choice, and I also have the mystery profile.
I'm still thinking about the other question. I'll do multiple choice.
All right,
Let's
it's up
do
there,
it.
Mike.
And it's baseball too. Here we go.
Baseball's good.
Who's the only major leaguer to be named World Series MVP while playing for 2 different teams? Interesting. Only major leaguer to be named World Series MVP playing for two different teams.
I'll say Frank Robinson.
Well, let me give you the choices. Reggie Jackson, Frank Robinson, Brooks Robinson, Robert Moranville. Go ahead.
I'll say Frank Robinson.
That is not correct. It is Reggie Jackson. So I'm going to assume that was Yankees and Oakland. That would
Correct.
That would have been
That
the
would
only
have
two
been it, yeah.
possibilities there. Here's an interesting, I was talking to a friend about this. Reggie Jackson, when the Yankees lost Derek Jeter, Reggie Jackson, the first year Oakland won the World Series, which was 1973, had a broken leg and did not play in that first World Series. They actually won without him.
How about them apples?
And he came back and became Mr. October after that.
I'm
Thank
0 for
you.
2, guys. 0
Thank
for 2.
That's all right. Keep trying. We'll get it.
Thank you,
eventually.
kind sir. Okay,
you.
we're going to go to the phones. The limo man is up next from whereabouts?
Parts unknown.
Parts unknown.
Parts unknown at home in New Kensington.
New Kensington?
I'm sorry?
You know what? You're going to have to back away from your cell phone. Give us a little more. It's hard to understand, really, your transmission. I'm sorry.
Is it okay now?
That's better.
Go back a little bit further.
Is it okay now?
That's okay.
Good.
We can hear you now.
Excellent. What do you got for us today?
I could not hear Tony at all.
What about Tony?
He couldn't
When
hear
he
him.
called, I
Oh,
could
you
not
couldn't hear him.
hear
Okay.
or understand him.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
So what's on your mind tonight, Limo?
Could
what
you
do you
hear?
got?
Could you hear the other studio participant before you got on?
Yes, it was fine.
Well, all right. Something's not.
John Farrell is named manager of the Red Sox
In a trade.
and a trade.
In a trade. This is a new thing now. We trade managers. It used to be Chuck
Well,
Tanner was the only person that
for
happened to.
Manny
but not anymore,
Sanguian.
yeah.
And tonight will be Kyle Roche against Matt Cain in Game 7.
I have that on my list, Limo.
What is more appetizing? Tonight's NFL game?
The baseball game for me.
The baseball game.
Yeah, the baseball game.
Yeah,
for
well,
me.
it's game.
And it's a football game that I'm interested in. I enjoy watching that division. The Lions, the
Right.
Lions, Tigers, and Bears. Oh
The
my.
black and blue
Yeah.
division.
Black and blue.
Hey, Bob, when you get home, tell Babe to put QED on at 7:30. They're going to talk about Squirrel Hill. All the Jews will be watching.
Squirrel Hill, indeed. They don't
Yes.
have pole eyes anymore, though.
Former pilot Ryan Vogelsong forced to Game 7.
He pitched great last night. I was telling Bob earlier that I had a chance to meet him in Florida a few years back, and it was his future wife at the time. Just really nice people. And this is a guy you root for. And when he went over to Japan just to try to keep his career alive and to try to continue to pitch, and he's just one of the nicest people you'll meet. And I can't be happier for him. And I hope they continue on, and mainly because I picked them, so it'll make me feel better. But I hope they continue on. But I'll be rooting for the Tigers once we get to the World Series. I would like to see Mr. Leland get another trophy.
And the pizza from Mattio's is terrific.
I was just going to ask you about the prize. We sent you out a certificate for Mattio's for winning.
And told them how good it really is.
That's wonderful. We appreciate that. So you're not eligible tonight.
And
we-
Chili Billy likes your double dribble pop.
Who?
It's a Chili Billy name drop.
Oh.
That's the first time we've had one of those.
Chili Billy.
I met him once, too.
I did too.
I
A
did.
long time.
His-
ago.
Just got a pre-owned Cadillac over at Royal Cadillac in the South Hills.
By the way, in case you didn't know, his toupee is a lot younger than he is.
I'm sorry?
I said Chili Billy, his toupee is a lot younger than he is.
I guess he still wears a toupee.
All right, little man, give us your call.
All right, there's a long drive in deep right center field, and this one is for Tommy Stabile and Freddie Wolf, the best collision place in the valley.
All right.
Thanks for the solicitation.
what?
I will see Mr. Stabile on Friday night.
I've got to get on him about free plugs
Free solicitation. Yes.
because there's no way that particular Cadillac dealer should get a mention. Anyway,
They're not within the
He
sound of
talks-
our voice. Well, it's true. With the streaming now, everyone's within the sound of our voice. That is true.
he did talk about the prize we sent him for Mattio's. And
yes.
Mattio's, maybe the next studio volunteer will take up. When it's his turn for the prize, we'll take a shot at the
The mystery profile. Yeah.
mystery profile. But anyway, everything on Mattio's menu is absolutely fantastic. Hand-tossed pizzas, gyro sandwiches and subs, hoagies, calzones, strombolis, and their feature signature Iron Man hoagie. Give it a shot. Mattio's, located right across from Drescher Stadium along the river next door to Clark Candies. Okay, we go for a break. When we come back, we'll have our next studio participant up and before the microphone, and Mike and I will return in a moment.
380 Auction and Discount Warehouse, Route 380, Murraysville.
Automotive supplies, groceries, housewares, pet supplies.
All at discount prices.
Sofas, dining tables, recliners, dressers and desks, lamps and end tables.
All at discount prices.
Yard and landscaping supplies, special catalog orders, mattresses with full warranties.
All at discount prices.
School supplies, tools, paint, toiletries, model cars, toys.
All at discount prices. Get to 380 Auction and Discount Warehouse today, Route 380, Murraysville.
Why do Arnold Furniture's customers continue to come back year after year? Maybe it's the personal touch that the Miller family has provided since 1975. Maybe it's the prices that are consistently lower than the competition. Or how about the selection? 4 floors of living room, dining room, recliners, bedding, accessories, and so much more. Plus free local delivery, free setup, and free removal of your old furniture guaranteed. The choice is obvious. Visit Arnold Furniture online at arnoldfurnitureinc.com or stop in and see us today.
Max and his son made their way homeward bound when mischievous rain dropped down, down, down. Safety was threatened by every roguish drip. They slipped and slid. They couldn't get a grip. Then along came the Michelin Man, reminding them the right tire changes everything. Stop up to 31 feet shorter than a leading competitor with the new Michelin Defender tire, backed by a 90,000-mile warranty. Michelin, a better way forward.
Available at Highland Tire under the bridge in Tarentum and Freeport Road, Natrona Heights. You know, where you buy your vehicle is just as important as what you buy. Let the experienced sales staff at Tower Auto Sales help you make your next selection. Tower Auto Sales, Freeport Road in Blaunox. Call Mike Fanto, and he'll tell you just buy it, like you should. 412-828-6202. Don't forget now my radio program on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, WAVL. Vandergrift, Apollo, Vandergrift, and Leechburg. Okay. We have another studio participant, and thank you for sharing the space here tonight with us.
It's good to be here, Bob and Mike.
And in case...
Good evening.
And in case the folks watching didn't recognize, well, hot dog guys. So, gentlemen, thank you for coming up here tonight.
Great to be here.
And what's on your mind?
Well, my question is an NHL question. What do you think of the latest proposal to the Players Union, the NHL Players Union, that 50-50 deal by the owners? What do you think of that?
Mike and I spoke about this last Monday briefly, just touched on it, and it's not so much, I thought that this was headed in the right direction.
I think it still might be.
Then
I think it still is.
What's the delay? They're going to lose. What have they lost so far? We've lost October, obviously canceled.
Right.
Now November is...
They've gone all the way up to, I believe, the 2nd of November that they've canceled. But if they settle by Thursday or Friday,
okay,
they can still get the whole 82 games in. Now...
Are we talking a little bit of training camp?
A little bit of training camp, no exhibition games, straight into the season.
Oh.
And they would push everything back, and they would finish everything up by the end of June. Instead of the middle of June or early June like they do now.
So
but I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think that we still have to have some posturing between. This is all negotiations, and frankly, if you look at where they've gone back and forth between the two, it's not very different. I mean, eventually it does get to 50-50, assuming we're all talking about the same 50-50, that it would be 50% of the revenue would go to the owners, 50% would go to the players. The problem, of course, is who's counting it and where are they getting it from, and that's what the issue is. Number two, the big sticking point right now is the players with existing contracts. How are they going to get paid their money? Because you can't have signed a contract 3 years ago that stretches into the future, and now they're going to say, well, now we're going to slash it because we've decided to cut salaries. That can't happen. Those guys deserve to be paid. They signed a valid contract and should be paid. So they're talking about escrow accounts. Some of the most sensible things that I've seen, rather than it starting at 50-50 right away, would be to actually scale it down. Maybe start it at 53, and then by the time to get to the end of the contract, it would be 50-50, and then they could probably live with that.
Isn't that where it was before, 53, 47?
It was 57-43.
Okay.
57% went to the players, 43% went to the owners.
Yeah, there was.
Now, who in the world negotiated that deal? Now, they did take some stuff back. The players gave back. And in exchange for that, the owners took a smaller split because revenues hadn't grown. Now, what's happened? Revenues have grown in the past 6 or 8 years since they had the last stoppage. And they think they'll grow more. They get a good TV deal coming with NBC. And, you know, so now, as the revenues go up, they want to scale it back, and the owners want to scale back the percentage, but telling the players you're still going to get as much of a pot in real dollars as you were before. And the players are saying, no, we don't necessarily agree with that. So that's where you are.
And you have a couple of franchises that are hurting.
Yes.
The Islanders, I believe Phoenix.
The Islanders, Phoenix, Florida Panthers, among a lot, you know. And they said that the number that the owners gave, and again, in the negotiation, how much of this can you believe? But the numbers that the owners gave was that upwards of 12, 14 teams had lost money last year. Well, you know, is that necessary? And as Don Fear said, as he said when he was running the players' union with baseball, well, that's fine, but that's not our problem. It's not our problem to make sure that you know how to run your side of the business. And he's not wrong about that, but the owners have the hammer. I mean, if they don't open the doors, and somebody said today that, you know, well, 50% isn't unreasonable. And I said, well, right now they're making 0% because they're not playing. And eventually someone's going to have to back down. I saw a thing on TSN about the possibility of pushing it back a little bit, pushing back the deadline. Not exactly playing an entire 82-game season, but, you know, the NBA played 66 games last year and everything was fine. They started on Christmas Day. Everybody was happy. They got through. It was actually a better product. There were less injuries. You had less of a season, a regular season, and a better playoff.
Right.
So you know, I don't know how married the owners are to this 82, but what the fear is that if they get past Thursday and this breaks off, that there are some hardline owners, the ones that are losing the money, are willing to say, you know what, we'll scrap the whole season again. So that's basically where we are.
Well, you brought up a good point, Mike, in regards to the MLB, whenever, what was that gentleman you just mentioned?
Don Fear, right. He's the same guy that ran the baseball players union is now. And believe me, when the players hired him, they hired him for a reason.
Right, right. But the thing is, the players are doing their job. That's the thing. The NHL players are doing their job.
Absolutely.
In this 50-50 split, we're talking about a loss of $61 million. $61 million at 50-50 split.
Right.
And if the owners are not doing their job in the negotiations involving their franchises, it shouldn't fall on the players.
Right. Well, and exactly the point, and the point you made is correct. What the owners are saying is, trying to convince the players of is, right, that in whole dollars, $61 million will be lost. But as we grow revenues, you're going to make that up, even if it's 50-50. And that's where the head's butt right now. And that's where you are. And now you're going to have to find a number that's somewhere in between that's going to be acceptable to both sides, and that's what negotiations are all about.
Exactly.
And hopefully they'll do that soon. And like I said, it's not going to kill me if they don't play all 82. But here's one thing I know: the minute that World Series goes dark, I need hockey somewhere. And I don't want to watch Metalurg Magnitogorsk against Moscow Dynamo. That's not going to be good enough for me. If I have to, I'll watch it. But you know what it's going to do? It's going to make me watch college basketball, and I have a hard and fast rule: no college basketball before Thanksgiving. That's wrong. But they're going to make me turn on a Pitt, of course, is an exception. I will watch the Pitt game, but you know, if they turn me to college basketball before Thanksgiving, then they're not going to lose me. I'll come back. But you know what that's about. But that's what's going to happen. They go away. People are going to go other places. They're going to take their dollars other places, and they're dead solid convinced that even because they missed an entire season, and everybody came back in greater numbers than they were there before, they think they can do it again and get away with it. And I'm not exactly sure that that's going to happen this time.
And it's only a certain few that are going to be able to go to Europe and blend in.
They only want the best players over
Exactly.
there. They don't want Matt Cook to come over. They're afraid what might happen. So
all I know is I'd play for a fraction of what they're being paid now.
Oh.
I would get on that ice. I'd make a mess of things, but at least I'm getting
We
paid.
go out there, and it's like, it doesn't even have to be 50%. It
Not
can be
at all.
smaller than that, but I don't even know if I could get on skates anymore. I don't think the ankles are strong enough. I couldn't.
Oh, Lord.
No, I don't think I could pull it off. But, I mean, but your point is well taken, though. They need to get it figured out. They need to fix it.
Yes.
But this is when was the season we lost? Was it 04,
It
05?
was 05, I think. I think the Penguins still played in 04.
04, 05?
Yeah, something along
Okay.
those lines. I'm not
So
exactly
here we are
sure
for
what it
the
was.
second time within 8 years?
And it's
or
one
years we have
contract,
an-
yeah. This is the next negotiation after that. They haven't even been able to get one done.
No.
And everybody used to laugh at baseball. Now look, they just
Amen.
move right along, sign their little contract. The same 5 teams win every year, and everybody's happy. So
Very good.
You want to take a shot at our,
I'd like the mystery profile.
that's what we're talking about. If you're ready?
believe
I
you're
am
up
ready.
12
Hit
Okay.
me with it.
All right. It is sponsored, of course, by Mattio's Pizza. They're located in Tarentum. We talked about them before.
Good
so
pizza.
let's get, thank you. Let's get right down to clue number 1. If you answer on the first clue, it is worth $100 in prizes, okay? I hold the record for being walked the most consecutive times in World Series play.
Albert Pujols?
Okay, incorrect. Let's go to clue number 2. I am the only major leaguer to post 500 plus RBIs over a stretch of 3 consecutive seasons. Now, we're talking Hall of Fame, and that's not really a clue, but we're not talking,
Hall of Fame.
oh yeah, big time.
I have no idea.
Okay,
Sorry.
let's go to number 3.
All righty.
I was the first major leaguer in the 20th century to hit 4 home runs in one game. And the day he did this, Babe Ruth accomplished something
wow.
Would
that,
that be Ralph Kiner?
no. We're getting close.
Getting close.
I hope.
Well, I will tell you this. He was a teammate of Babe Ruth.
Oh,
And on the day that he accomplished the 4 home runs in one game, the Babe accomplished something else, and the headlines the following day in the New York papers was all about the Babe and nothing about this guy that we're after. Okay, 4th clue, and that is that I played college football at Columbia University. Major baseball star, Hall of Famer, wore the pinstripes.
college football.
He did play college football, and he also played college baseball there, but he was at first prohibited because he had played semi-pro ball.
Okay.
And somehow they got together and said, well, he didn't play that much. I forget what it was. They turned things around, and he became eligible. So that's where we are. He also played college baseball at Columbia.
I would say Lou Gehrig.
And you're correct.
Bingo.
Oh, wow.
$25 worth of prizes, and we thank you for participating.
And by the way, for everyone out there, we checked Columbia. We checked the Ivy League standings before we went on the air. Columbia's in last place. Things haven't gone well since Lou left. This is a Penn-Princeton league right now, and Harvard's is doing well also. Those 3 teams are battling out for the Ivy League crown. I saw there was a game on this week. Just like you flip by the upper channels, you get up there to Root Sports or NBC Sports Network. They'll have an Ivy League game on. Check them out. They're fun.
Okay, so we got.
We have a winner. I'm so happy.
Okay, we got it on the 4th one, right?
right.
Okay, all right. We got it on number 4. Okay, we thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Mike and I owe for a commercial pause, so we're going to do that now. And I don't know if we have anybody on hold or not, but when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more. Stay with us, folks. The line is open at 724-236-0430. We'll be right back. This is where you get the absolute freshest deli meats and cheeses. Fazio's Italian Deli in Arnold. At Fazio's, you're getting only the best and freshest selection. Fazio's has its own bakery and offers you fresh baked bread, rolls, pastries, and more. Pick up individual salads to go, Italian sausages, hoagies, custom-made sandwiches, even party trays for your next get-together. Freshness and quality every time at Fazio's Italian Deli, Leishman and Dre in Arnold. Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Westmoreland provides a full range of coverage for all of your automobile needs. Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557. Lower Borough Attorney Gino F. Peluso was honored to be the first AK Valley lawyer to serve as president of the Duquesne Law Alumni Association. For over 3 decades, Attorney Peluso has helped local people get what they deserve, providing his expertise in Wilson Estates, auto accidents, DUI, and bankruptcy law, where he serves as a debt relief agency helping people file for relief under the bankruptcy code. Call Attorney Peluso 724-339-8710 or visit attorneypeluso.com. Let his experience work for you. Okay, welcome back. And again, our number, if you're ready to call, be our guest, 724-236-0430. Michael, what do you put this thing together,
I have
so
the playoff
I don't want it to go to
possibilities
waste.
for us. No, I don't want it to go to waste either. And hang on to it. As a matter of fact, I have MSA up on the Google machine here, and I was checking theirs along with mine to see. They just posted this within the last 10 minutes by Don Rebel, and if Don did it, it's got to be right. So we'll start with Quad A. I'm going to go through all the locals and just kind of give everybody an idea where they stand as far as playoffs go. The last regular season game is this Friday. This Friday night, I will have Highlands and Knock at Highlands. If Highlands wins, they have a chance for the wild card. And Bob, you're still deciding, or
I'm trying to get Riverview at Springdale for Friday night.
yeah, because that makes a lot more sense, because that's a big game that could get Springdale in. Let's start with them. Springdale's 6-2. They're still alive. They play Riverview this week. Apollo Ridge is in second. They're 5-3. They're also alive in the Eastern Conference. They're at West Shamokin, and I believe they also have a win and in for them. Also in A, Riverview's 2-6. They're out, and Leechburg is 1-7. Our fine hosts here at the studios. And Leechburg, they are also out. In Double A, Freeport is in, and if they beat Summit, they're going to win a conference, even though they got hammered 60-6 last week by Washington, which is really going to hurt the Allegheny Conference when it comes to the playoff pairings. I can't imagine that your champion gets beat 60-6 in a game. That's not going to hurt. There's not going to be a ripple. It's going to hurt everybody else down the line. You watch Burrow's in second right now, 7-1. They play Deer Lakes at home. If they win, they get a home game. You watch. They'll send Beaver Falls up here.
Can I interject something here? And
Yes.
again, I just question the wisdom of putting a Washington game toward the end of the season when you want to be healthy for the playoffs.
Hey, we said the same thing with Highlands. We were at Ringgold this past week, and both teams, Ringgold's quarterback got hurt and Highlands lost the player. So you can't, I mean, in a Week 8 game, it doesn't matter. Now, there are Week 9 games that don't matter, and it's just the way it is with 9-team conferences. There's no other way around it. So, you know, these teams, like Elizabeth Forward I was looking at, they've clinched a playoff spot. They have a completely meaningless game this coming week. What are you going to do? You rest and play the JVs? I mean, you want to keep your guys sharp, and if you're playing well, you want to keep playing well.
And any good team that's out there, they got a 2 or 3 touchdown lead, and you know you're going to coast.
And pull them out, and pull everybody out of there.
Get the big guys that you're going to be counting on, get them out of there.
As the week goes on, you'll see some of these, you'll see as, you know, what happens there. So Borough will be at home. Valley is in, we already said that, congratulations to them. And then the big game this week in the Allegheny, Shadyside Academy is at Katanning, winner in, loser out, apparently. And at Katanning, good luck. Good luck.
It's
all
always
I
a
have
tough
to say.
place to play.
I'm picking Katanning right now before I even look into the game or anything. I'm going to pick Katanning. And then also in double in the Allegheny Conference, Fort City and Deer Lakes are both 3-5 right now, and they'll be out. They will not make it this year. AAA. A shout out to the Hampton Talbots. They play Franklin Regional this week for the Greater Allegheny Conference Championship. You know, that hasn't been good for them recently. Jacques DiMattio's done a nice job there, so they're in. Knock is in. They're playing at Highlands this week. Knock can still be alive for a home game in AAA if they win that game. as they are in the mix with Mars and the rest of the upper echelon of the Greater Allegheny Highlands. Still with a chance. If they win that game, they have 2 routes. The first bite at the apple is if they win and Hollidaysburg loses, they finish 5th and they make it through the conference. If they win outright, I believe that on Gardner points, with the 150 they'll get from beating Knock, that the Highlands will be the wild card. So after losing your first 4, that would be quite a thing for them. Congratulations there if they make it, and I'll be happy too because it'll get me out for another week. I don't have to stay home and watch Blue Bloods.
Any predictions on the Redskins and the Steelers?
Here's what I think about the Redskins. The Redskins have had so many close games and have played well, and their defense has let them down so much. I mean, if you just take what Robert Griffin's done, they're probably an undefeated team. They shouldn't have lost. But their defense is horrible. And you just wonder that they played that game against the Giants and had it won. He brought them back, and it got flipped at the end, and Eli threw a touchdown in the game. Will the Redskins maybe have a little bit of a letdown? They're going to keep losing players. Fred Davis went out. He's done. They lost a couple defensive backs, which they can't afford to do right now anyway. So my hope is that the Redskins might have a little bit of a letdown, and the Steelers, who have been good at home,
will remain.
are going to need to stay good at home. I don't know that they're going to be able to afford to lose a home game if they want to get to the point where they win the division. I think they might have to win all their home games because they've already blown too many easy road games.
And we'll see what happens with the running back situation, as our studio guest alluded to earlier.
What will happen with Redmond? How will the injury to Mendenhall be? Mr. Tomlin will have all that at his press conference on Tuesday. He won't give too much information, certainly, but he'll give
enough.
Just enough to remember. They're so short. Remember, Noel's press conferences would go all the way almost till 1 o'clock. And he never really said anything, but he gave long enough answers to keep it going, and there were more questions. The Tomlin press conference is done by 12:30. He just doesn't want to be there, and he doesn't want bothered. Now, Cowers were a little shorter, and now Tomlin's are a little shorter yet. So, I mean, we may get to the point where they don't have one at all.
Well, all right, that's going to wrap it up for the night. And, Michael, we're back here at the Home Post on Monday evening.
We will be here next Monday night will be the pairings
for the live streaming, right? Then, of course, the show is videotaped, and you see that on channel 190 on Thursday evenings beginning at 8:30.
That is correct.
So, anyway, go Steelers. Please sign the hockey contract. Keep Mike and I happy, and the hot dog guys as well.
By the time we're here next week, hopefully we'll have some good news to talk about there, because we will know if they're going to play all 82 by next week.
Okay. Again, thanks for watching. I'm Bob Tattern.
I'm Mike Pavel.
And good night, everybody. Sportsline, brought to you by AKLC Studios, Arnold Furniture, Buffalo Bills Roadhouse, Fazio's Italian Deli, Highland Tire, Myrna's Brewery Outlet, Lower Borough Attorney Gino F. Peluso, the Resevich Funeral Homes, 380 Discount Warehouse, and Westmoreland Insurance Services